Hi, this is Tasha the Crafty Kraut. I'm going to be making German butter cookies today. So what you're going to need, I'm going to do a full batch. I usually do a half a batch, but this year I'm going to do a full batch. So you're going to need 3½ sticks of softened sweet cream butter, unsalted, 1 cup of sugar, 5 egg yolks, and 500 grams of all-purpose, not self-rising, all-purpose unbleached flour. What you're going to do is you're going to take your sugar. You're going to do a cup of sugar. So let's do a cup of sugar. You take a cup of sugar, and you're going to so a cup of sugar. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take your cup of sugar and your butter, and you're going to mix that for about 15 minutes. My mom does it by hand. I don't. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put it in my stand mixer, and I'm just going to let it mix. Since it's a stand mixer and it's, mixes better than you would by hand, I'm just going to do it for about 8 minutes or so. So you just want to kind of make it creamy. So we'll do that. All my butter off of here. Okay. Now periodically I'll stop it and just make sure I got all the sugar off of the bottom of the stand mixer. That's my only complaint about the stand mixers or my KitchenAid is it doesn't seem to get the very bottom of the bowl sometimes. So you have to stop it and you got to get down in there. So put it in here. I'm just going to do it all in one. I'm going to let that go for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to add the egg yolks and mix it well again, and then I'm going to slowly add the flour. Just kind of, you can do it cup by cup, but I'm just going to slowly add that. So, and then once we have that, we will have the actual batter, and what we're going to do is we're going to let it sit in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours. You can leave it in the refrigerator for a couple of days and make a batch at a time, however you want to do it. But I'm going to let it sit in the refrigerator for at least a couple hours. I'll probably make a couple of batches this afternoon, and then I'll probably come back this evening and make the rest of them. And I'll show you how all that works. So what you're going to need as well is, I use the kind that I'm going to make, they have jelly inside. So I use a raspberry preserve that has little seeds in it. And I'm going to put that in between. They're going to be like cookie sandwiches. So you're going to have a cookie on bottom, you're going to have the jelly in the middle, and then I'm going to have another cookie on top with a cutout, and then we're going to put some powdered sugar on that. Or you can also just make regular cookies with some powdered sugar with water or with lemon for the icing with some sprinkles. So I might make a few of those as well because I like those. I don't like the ones with the jelly. Everybody else loves the jelly, I just don't like the texture. So I'll come back and show you the next step once we actually have the dough. This dough is really tricky to work with. It falls apart, it brittles, so you want to just do small portions at a time to roll out. It's kind of a frustrating dough to work with, but it's well worth it. It's really, really good. So I'll show you the next step. Okay, so we have our butter mixed, and you can kind of see it's mixed well with the sugar. So I have my egg yolks, and what I did is I used the egg whites for my hazelnut macaroons that are also, I also have a video up on YouTube for those. Those are really, really good. But so I have my egg yolk from my macaroons left. That way you don't have to waste the egg yolks, and you can just make these cookies. So I'm going to add those into this batter. I'll make sure I get it all. And then we're going to mix that up really good. And this is a really simple recipe. I mean, it's just a couple of ingredients, and these cookies are really good. Okay, so I have my egg yolks in there. I'm going to let that mix up real good. Like that. And then I have my flour. I already have that poured out. You can sift the flour if you want. I did not this time, but I might. So I got my little sifter, and I have my flour over here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and, I guess, sift it. It won't hurt to do it. It just usually goes everywhere when I do it. Alrighty, so we have all our flour. And I'm just going to make sure I have all the stuff off of the bottom of the mixer. Let that mix just for a second longer, and then I'll start adding in the flour. Oops. So we're going to mix that real good, and then we're going to add in the flour little by little. Yeah, so you want to at least let it sit in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours. And like I said, and then, let it come to room temperature before you actually use it. I mean, you won't be able to cut it, it'll be so hard. Okay, so we have that. So I'm just going to start adding in my flour. I might have to change it to a kneading dough hook, but see how it goes for now. Okay, add in another batch. Looks good. You just want to be careful because when you turn on the mixer, sometimes it'll fly everywhere. Now you're starting to, well, you can't see it, but I'll show it to you in a minute. So I'm going to have to get some of it off of the bottom because starting to look like a dough. Now, this is the first time I actually measured out the flour. Usually I just did it I did like 4 cups. I don't think 500 grams is quite 4 cups, but I did measure it this time, so I'm hoping maybe it won't be as brittle as it usually is. Might have to add just a touch more flour in it if it's not the right consistency, but I think it's going to be fine. Actually might help it not be so frustrating. Okay. Alrighty. So now I want to, so you're going to put this in the fridge. It's going to harden up. But I want to make sure I get all the ingredients off of the bottom because, can you just see it here? So that mix up again. Okay, so make sure you have all your ingredients well incorporated, and then you're going to let this sit in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours. You can, like I said, you can leave it in there longer. You have to at least let it chill for 2 hours. And then we'll come back and I'll show you how to, the rest of it, how to roll it out and how to cut the cookies and bake them and everything. Okay, so I have my, excuse me, I have my cookies. I baked them on 350 degrees for about 8 minutes, but keep an eye on them because they will get a little more golden. It's kind of hard to see, but they will get a little more golden as they sit out. So once you see the edges get golden, I would go ahead and take them out. Excuse me. Okay, so I have a bunch of cookies made, as you can see here. And I don't know if you can see my shirt and pants. I'm covered in flour. It's all over the house. These cookies are very difficult to make. Well, they're not difficult to make. They're just, the dough is just really tricky. So what I found out today, or what I did today, was I actually rolled it out in between wax paper and floured the wax paper really good. And that seemed to help make them come out better. So now what I have is I have my solid stars on a cold cookie sheet. And then I have these stars that have a hole in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my jelly. And I'm going to put my jelly on each star. And then I'm going to top it off with my other cookie with a hole in it. So you're going to see the jelly in between there. And then we're going to sprinkle powdered sugar on there. For the regular cookies, just for the regular ones, what I do is I make a glaze with powdered sugar and water. You can use powdered sugar and lemon juice or orange juice or whatever, just to add a little bit of flavor. I don't really need any other flavor but powdered sugar. And then you can put sprinkles on them if you want. And you can also color the icing if you want to, but I just usually do it clear, or it's kind of like a white. These tiny little stars are from the inside of those cookies. I always just kind of pop those on the cookie sheet too. They're nice little snacks. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my jelly in a Ziploc bag. And then I just cut a little hole in the Ziploc bag, and then I squeeze it on these, and then I top them, and I put the powdered sugar on. I let them sit out for a little bit, and then I will put them in tins. And you want to put the cookies in tins, I'll show you, like this, like a cookie tin. I have my hazelnut macaroons in there now. And then I'll add those in there. So you want to keep your cookies in a cookie tin. They keep them fresher than a Tupperware container. The Tupperware container, I don't know, I think it kind of holds in moisture where the aluminum doesn't. But I'll come back and show you the finished cookie. Everybody loves these. If you can figure out an easier way to roll them out, let me know. I actually had an idea. I have a mat that I roll out my fondant in between. I'll have to look at the name of the mat. And I think you could probably roll the cookie dough out in between that, and it would probably work really good. But, excuse me, that mat's really, really big, and I just didn't want to bring it down for the cookies. So I just tried it in between the wax paper. You could also try parchment paper. Okay, one thing I wanted to show you was the cookie cutters that I used. This one's my star one, but I also have a round one. So, this is it right here. And you can get any brand, as long as it has the cutouts as well. Okay, so I'm using raspberry preserve. preserves, and I'm going, and I showed you guys, or I had a video with icing that I did, and here's a trick to fill your pastry bag, or in this case my Ziploc bag. So you're going to put your Ziploc bag over a cup, and my jelly, I just opened it, and then you're going to fill it like this. Very easy to fill. You can do it with one hand, as I'm doing. So you're going to do that. I probably won't need this much, but whatever I have left over, I can just squeeze back into the container. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to cut a hole in the bottom of my Ziploc bag, and here we go. And then I'm going to squirt it onto the cookies. Alright, so here are the finished cookies. There are my jelly filled ones, and then they are just the regular butter cookies with the powdered sugar icing and some sprinkles. And here's another batch. There's some hazelnut ones here, and then I've got some of the filled ones here. Alright, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.